Hey guys, so in that last video I got cut off. As you can see, I lost track of time. So we only have 15 minutes. I'm doing a lot of talking for this lesson, so I will make your homework for tonight a little bit easier. How about that? We'll just do a few problems from the workbook, okay? But just bear with me because I think it's really, really important that you're taking notes and following along. So we left off, video 2 left off with example 4. We just switched these mixed numbers to improper and then changed them to common denominators. Okay, so now we're here. All right, so now I'm solving in this column. So I have a common denominator of 12, and then I have negative 46 and positive 21. Different signs, so I just subtract these and keep the sign of the larger number. So 46 is larger than 21, regardless of sign, right? So I'm going to keep my answer negative. If I'm at negative 46 and I add back 21, I'm still going to be on the negative side of the number line. So this is going to be negative 46 minus 21. Right, gives me 25. All right, so now I have negative 25 over 12, and I'm going to change that to a mixed number for my final answer. So 12 goes into 25 twice with 1 left over, and I put that over 12. And my answer, again, is negative. So my final answer is negative 2 and 1/12. Okay, so again, this is the method that I call the improper way. I prefer this method just because it works every time and keeps it easy. You're not guessing when to regroup and when not to regroup. I think this is just the seamless way. Again, the only issue with this method is if I end up with large improper fractions to be switching back to mixed numbers. But anyways, so now let's try it using the book's method, which is the regrouping method. Okay, so if I come back to my original problem, all right, I'm just going to push this over a little bit. I'm going to almost look at this as two separate problems. Okay, so I have negative 3 and 5/6 and positive 1 and 3/4. So this is easy. I can do negative 3 plus 1 gives me what? Negative 2. So if I take away 3 but then add back 1, that brings me to negative 2. When I look at my two fractions here, I also have to consider this negative 5/6 and this positive 3/4. Negative 5/6 and positive 3/4, I cannot add or subtract because I do not have a common denominator. So I need to switch these to a common denominator. So 4 does not go into 6. Skip count 6, I get 12. Does 4 go into 12? Yes, it does. So I'm going to make my LCD 12. 6 times 2 gives me 12, so 5 times 2 gives me 10. Bring over that negative, you guys. Super important. See it? Now I'm here. 4 times 3 gives me 12. So 3 times 3 gives me 9. This is positive. So now I have negative 10 plus 9, right? Different signs subtract, keep the sign of the larger number. So my answer is going to be negative 1 over 12. This worked out pretty good for us. I have negative 2, and then I add that to negative 1/12, and this gives me negative 2 and 1/12. Since I now have time, I'm going to circle back and do number 3 for you guys, okay? So again, I'm on the bottom of textbook page 121. And I'm just going to circle back now and do number 3. So number 3 says 1 3/5, right? Plus negative 6 7/10. All right, so I'm going to pretend like we're in class right now. Show of hands, who wants to do the improper method first? Oh, wow, look at that, all of you. All right, so we're going to switch. I'm going to first do the improper method. So to do that, okay, I'm going to rewrite this. Always rewrite it going vertical. So 1 3/5 plus negative is just minus, right? So if I have a positive and a negative next to each other, you guys, we're going to keep that negative. 6 7/10. I don't like double signs. So we're just going to make plus, minus, just minus. So now I have positive 1 3/5, negative 6 7/10. I'm going to use the improper method. So I'm going to switch both of these to improper fractions so they look like one fraction. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 3 gives me 8/5, positive. 6 times 10 is 60, plus 7 is 67/10, negative. So now I just rewrote both of these, okay, as improper fractions. So now this is what I'm going to use to solve these two fractions here. So again, I cannot add or subtract these. I do not have a common denominator. I must change this to a common denominator in order to add and subtract. Always. That's like the #1 rule, you guys. Okay, so 5 goes into 10, so I'm going to make 10 my LCD. 5 times 2 gives me 10, so 8 times 2 gives me positive 16. 10 times 1 gives me 10. 67 times 1 is 67, and this is negative. Okay, 10 as my common denominator, I leave that 10. Okay, and my denominators, because I have positive 16 and negative 67, I need to subtract those. Different signs subtract, keep sign of larger number. 67 is bigger than 16, so I'm keeping this negative. Okay, then I'm just going to subtract these. So 7 minus 6 gives me 1. 6 minus 1 gives me 5. So again, 67 minus 16 gives me 51 is my answer. So my final answer here is negative 51 over 10. And then I'm just going to switch this to a mixed number. So 10 goes into 51 5 times. 10 times 5 is 50. And I have 1 left over. I'm going to make that over 10. Again, you guys, just to clarify how I got that. 10 times 5 is 50, right? So that gives me my 5. But then I have to get to 51. So I have 1 left over here. Don't forget to bring the sign over. So many of you guys forget to do that and then you lose a point. So let's just make sure we bring the negative over. So my final answer is negative 5 1/10. Now to do this in terms of regrouping, okay, I have 2 different signs, and because I have 2 fractions here, okay, I can bring over my signs like this, and then just solve them separately. So positive 1, again, this is method 2. I don't prefer this method, but you're welcome to do it if it makes more sense to you. Everyone thinks differently, and that's okay. So positive 1 minus 6 gives me negative 5. All right, now when I come over to here, I have positive 3/5 and negative 7/10. I'm going to make this a common denominator of 10. 5 times 2 gives me 10, so 3 times 2 gives me 6. Bring over that sign, positive 6. 10 times 1 is 10, so 7 times 1, I just keep this 7/10. Bring over my negative. Okay, common denominator, I keep that 10. Positive 6 minus 7 gives me negative 1/10. So now this works. I have negative 5 and negative 1/10. I can just combine these and make this negative 5 and 1/10. And if you notice, you get the same answer as we did with the first method using the improper way. Okay, now that we just finished that up, right, I hope this helps you guys out a bit. You're just going to do workbook page, so out of your workbook, not textbook. You're going to take out your workbook and open to page 135. And today you're just going to be doing numbers 2 through 8, okay? Numbers 2 through 8. Some people have trouble on this section, you guys, so if after you try these, if you get stuck, please just underneath our class wall, put the workbook page number, and then either problems 2 through 8, whatever one you're stuck on, just let me know so that the next day, so today's Monday, I want you to post it at some point today if you're having trouble. And what I will do is put together a video walking you through the number that you're having trouble with. Does that make sense? So say you're having trouble with workbook page 135, say number 2. And after you've tried it, after you've phoned a friend, after you've tried everything you can to understand it, if you still don't get it, on the class wall, just say, Mrs. Smith, I need help with workbook page 135, number 2. And what I will do is make a video Monday night and post it on Tuesday, so that when you correct your answers, you can then check the video to figure out how it is that you get the correct answer. Okay, so I hope everyone is hanging in there. I miss you guys so much. You have no idea. I miss you a lot. Okay, but hang in there. Hopefully we'll see each other again soon. And have a fabulous Monday. Love you guys. Bye.